I text that again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, and that, stop it. Knock it off, cuz. Stop it. Tell them to send that bag, and I'm coming. And I'm, you know.
Gervonta Tank Davis initially stated he can't fight YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul, who is 12 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout, until he reached the status of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez.
Man, I think it's great for boxing. I think like boxing right now is like on top, you know what I'm saying, of the sport, bro. You know, one thing is boxing will never die, bro. Like everybody wants to see that kind of combat.
Gervonta Davis broke his silence on the upcoming Jake Paul fight, making it clear he's far from impressed. Speaking with trademark confidence, Davis dismissed Paul as an Instagram boxer, insisting the YouTuber-turned-fighter doesn't belong in the same ring as him. "Jake can't compete with me," Davis said bluntly, adding that Paul is just fat and lacks both the skill and experience to pose any real threat. His words left no doubt. Davis sees this as a mismatch, not a challenge.
To me, like, I don't think that would even be, like, fair.
No, I think that he's you know how he got fat? He's a Instagram boxer.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to leave my girl.
I wouldn't say
and
that.
shit, but, like, I don't know
No, he
about
would
when it
definitely
comes to
fuck my girl.
boxing, like,
Wouldn't be fun. He's really good.
I wouldn't want to leave,
No, he
like,
would. It's not
you
fair.
know, I'd probably be a little worried, to be honest. But
With Ryan?
when it comes to boxing,
Ryan looks like a Greek goddess.
Tank would fucking toss him down.
No, he does. He's a good-looking dude. You're right. I would be afraid
Yeah.
to leave my girl around him.
And he is dope to watch in, like, the Instagram videos and shit, too. Like, he has fast hands and shit. He's obviously a good boxer, but what about when it comes to, like, this level? It wouldn't even be fair?
You can't compete with me. People in the gym will tell you, like, I've really got top skill.
Gervonta Davis has never been one to hold back when it comes to speaking his mind about opponents, and Jake Paul has often found himself in the crosshairs. In past interviews, Davis scoffed at the idea of ever sharing a ring with Paul, saying he'd only consider such a fight if Jake reached the level of legends like Mike Tyson, Manny Pacquiao, or Canelo Alvarez. By setting that bar, Davis made it clear that boxing, to him, was about legacy, respect earned through years of wars, not fleeting social media fame. But now, with the fight officially confirmed, that stance has taken a sharp turn. Fans have been quick to highlight the contradiction, noting how Davis has gone from dismissing Paul as beneath him to signing on for what's rumored to be one of the biggest paydays of his career. Critics argue that while Davis once championed legacy over spectacle, the pull of massive money may have changed his tune. The shift has reignited debate among boxing purists. Has Davis compromised his principles for profit, or is he simply capitalizing on the sport's evolving business landscape?
Gervonta Tank Davis initially stated he can't fight YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul, who is 12 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout, until he reached the status of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez. And now yesterday, we have gotten an announcement that November 14th in Atlanta, Georgia, Gervonta Tank Davis, instead of fighting the highly anticipated rematch with WBA super featherweight, now lightweight star title contender, whom they fought March 1st to a controversial draw, and that being Lamont Rose Jr., who was 25 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 10 wins by way of knockout. Gervonta Tank Davis is instead going to fight Jake Paul. So now he views himself on the level of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez. He feels like he has achieved what he set out to achieve to reach that level. And or he just seen the money flashing and decided that's the right direction to go in. Because he clearly has not reached that level. He said that he had to do things in the sport of boxing still and fight his peers. He's only fought one guy.
Shakur Stevenson, the undefeated technician known for his sharp ring IQ, weighed in on the upcoming clash with his trademark composure. While he acknowledged that Jake Paul might enter the ring with a size advantage, Stevenson was quick to dismiss its significance against a fighter like Gervonta Davis. According to him, boxing isn't about who's bigger, it's about who's better. He explained that victories are earned through skill, speed, and intelligence, not sheer physical presence, and in all those areas, Davis excels. Stevenson emphasized that Tank's explosiveness, precision, and fight-ending power make him a nightmare for anyone, regardless of size. Stevenson didn't mince words when assessing Paul's chances, saying that while Jake has trained hard and earned some wins, he's nowhere near the technical level of fighters who've spent their entire lives mastering the craft. Coming from a boxer celebrated for his own discipline and analytical style, Stevenson's take carries weight, reinforcing the belief that Davis' elite skill set will ultimately eclipse Jake's size advantage.
His last fight when he fought Lamont, Jake Paul was at the fight. He told y'all he was going to fight somebody like Jake Paul. So I'm not shocked. It don't surprise me. So,
you know, Shakur, Jake, when he fought Mike Tyson, he was 227 pounds. He was 199 and like 199 point something his last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He hasn't been only boxing for a couple of years. He's 12-1. Tank Davis obviously been boxing his whole life. He's 30-0-1. He's knocked everybody out except for 3 opponents in his life. At what point does size matter so much, though, where it can't be overcome, Shakur? And is it in this case here when you've got what is like a 70-pound difference between these two guys?
I mean, size will play some part of the fight, but if I'm thinking like I'm Tank, I'm probably just going to go out there and try to outbox him and use my knowledge and IQ against him. So I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
Is there any way any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Not a lot of people have talked about Jake and said he's got good power. Not even and I get anything could technically happen, but you don't even see a realistic shot where he could land one big punch and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power.
Nah, not at all. I think Tank is he's been boxing his whole life. He's been boxing since a kid, so I doubt like that's gonna be an issue or problem. I think Jake is good for where he's at, but I think it's just levels.
British heavyweight Dave Allen voiced his disappointment over the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul fight, calling it yet another unnecessary exhibition-style spectacle. Allen stressed that boxing should prioritize legitimate, competitive matchups rather than contests built for hype or entertainment. He pointed out that Davis has already cemented his legacy in the sport, and instead of diminishing his career value by facing Paul, he should either pursue challenging fights against established opponents or consider retirement on his own terms. Allen argued that these exhibition-style bouts undermine the traditional spirit of boxing, turning the focus toward money and social media clout rather than skill and competition. For Allen, the most respectful way to honor Davis' career isn't by putting him in a gimmick fight, but by letting him exit the sport on his own terms, preserving the integrity of his legacy.
He's training this fight, but fighting against real bears. This is true. People are going, no chance, no chance. Do you reckon this guy, could he be the toughest of your opponents so far, do you reckon?
I don't think he's the best that I've faced a few Olympic medals, a few world title challenges, but I think he's probably the most dangerous. Maybe not the best boxer, he might not be the most technical. He hits really hard, he's really big and strong, so yeah, I think it's the most dangerous task I've faced, but maybe not the best fighter.
Whereabouts is the fight, Dave? Where are you fighting him?
So he's still at Sheffield Arena.
Right.
Headlining in Sheffield, which is like my local arena. So it's a big night for me.
He won his last fight, didn't he, Dave, against Ricardo Brown, and 20 wins, 19 KOs he's got. So like you said, he is dangerous. How's the training gone for you ahead of this fight?
Yeah, it's been good. He's put a bit of fear into it, to be honest. I have a genuine fear. I've never been stopped, but I've never been on the canvas ever as a pro or amateur, so and I'd like to keep it that way, really. Yep. I'm not on anyone's highlight reel. You see highlight reels all the fighters I face, I'm not on any of them. And I'd like to keep it that way. So yeah, training I was gone up a notch. The Fisher rematch did weigh a little bit heavy, so for this one, if I cut any corners, there's a good chance I'll get beat bad fashion. So it has really picked me up a little bit. I've been training a tiny bit harder. I've been eating a whole lot better and resting, and And I think I'm looking at a career best performance.
Good man. Let's move on. Talk about this big news of the day. Cruiserweight Jake Paul. WBA lightweight world champion Gervonta Davis will step in the ring together in an exhibition in Atlanta, November 14. For context, the top weight for cruiserweight sits at 90.7 kilos, while the heaviest a lightweight can be 61.2. Dave, this is surely, I know it's an exhibition, but this is a mismatch, surely. It's ridiculous.
I'm not a fan of exhibitions as it is. I think if you're doing exhibitions, there have to be a thing. There'll be a thing for retired fighters.
On Ariel Helwani's show, analysts took an in-depth look at the upcoming Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul fight, highlighting the gap between hype and genuine competition. While the matchup is undeniably grabbing headlines, they agreed it lacks the substance of a true sporting contest. Some even drew parallels to Mike Tyson's recent exhibition, noting that entertainment often takes precedence over proving skill inside the ring. The analysts emphasized the clear imbalance. Paul's larger natural frame gives Davis a physical disadvantage. Yet they acknowledged that Davis's speed, ring IQ, and technical prowess could still allow him to navigate the challenge. Still, the weight difference changes the dynamic entirely, shifting the focus from boxing merit to spectacle. They warned fans not to confuse this bout with a legitimate clash of equals. Instead, it should be seen as an event crafted to entertain, generate buzz, and command attention. Ultimately, for the analysts, this fight is a showcase of spectacle over sport.
And by the way, like I feel like this was similar to as I alluded to earlier, the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight had similar kind of question marks around it. Like, is this going to be an exhibition or is this going to be an official fight? And you kind of go through the motions and go through the process of this. So I imagine that Jake Paul, Nikisa Badarian, and MVP are going through the process of trying to get this to be an official fight. And if not, they can still do this as an exhibition, no problem. What weight class they meet at is going to be very fascinating, right? Like, is Jake Paul going to try to get down lower in weight to make it more fair?
Can they meet at a weight class, or would they just agree on what they're willing to fight at?
Even if they meet at a weight class, let's just do the math, right? Even if they met at, I don't know, 190? No, I don't think Jake Paul can get that
up to 190.
I don't think Jake Paul can get down to that.
So that's why I think it'll be an exhibition.
No, Gervonta can get up to, okay, there's in MMA, for certain weight classes, you must be a minimum weight, right? You can't be within X percentage difference of your opponent.
Yeah.
There are some jurisdictions where I don't believe that is accurate, where that is true. I'm curious if Atlanta is one of them. We should try to look into that if we can. Maybe Jordan can look into that. If there's a weight minimum that you have to meet. Otherwise, if they agreed to a catch weight of, let's say, 100, what's the lowest Jake Paul's ever fought at?
I don't know. 185 for the Nate Diaz fight?
I have to think that's the smallest, right? Here, we're going to do...
Okay, let's say like he can get down to 180.
Unfortunately, Tapology doesn't have the weight on
here. Yeah, I mean, let's just say he can get down to one of those weights. Let's just say hypothetically 185. Is Gervonta Davis getting up to that?
He will not get up to that, but he can get within 20 pounds of it, maybe? Yeah, maybe.
I mean, do you think it's a strategic move for them to put it in Atlanta?
Carl Froch, the former super middleweight champion, didn't hold back when weighing in on the fight, labeling the matchup an absolute joke. Known for his unfiltered honesty, Froch made it clear that bouts like this undermine the integrity of boxing. He insisted that Davis should be pursuing legitimate challenges within his own weight class, while Jake Paul's involvement should remain separate from elite-level competition. Froch's blunt dismissal mirrors the frustration felt by many purists, who see spectacle-driven fights stealing the spotlight from true contests between world-class athletes. Interestingly, his comments highlight the growing tension between boxing as a sport of skill and boxing as entertainment.
I think it's great for boxing. I think like boxing right now is like on top. You know what I'm saying? Sport, bro. You know, one thing is boxing will never die, bro. Like, everybody wants to see that kind of combat. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's great for the sport. You know, and the thing is the Netflix, the production factor behind it is shit. You know what I'm saying? And cards are actually good fights. The only one that was out, I mean, a bit of a bad was was watching old Mike Tyson back. I love Mike, you know, but he wasn't his usual self. Other than that, man, they've been great events.
What do you think about Tank and Jake Paul?
You know, man, I don't know if that's actually real. You know what I'm saying? Could it be just publicity? Could it be just, I don't know. I don't know if that's legit, man. You know, I
Jake just posted it up too.
yeah. Well,
Not
yeah,
Tank yet. Not Tank yet though.
yeah, that's part of the biz, man. It's just look, man, one thing that I learned being around Jake, you know what I'm saying,
Post
is
early.
huh?
He
What's
be
up?
posting a little early.
No, no, no. It's just like he just gets people talking. You know what I'm saying? And he keeps his name, you know, on the top of the subject. You know what I'm saying? So, um, it's just it's marketing, bro. It's marketing.